Okay, I decided to redo my first video and add some commentary because I do have some reprints in here and some glare, so I figured it'd be better if I just went ahead and commentated on it. Okay, this is Erhnamgeddon versus Mono Black. Start first turn, Forest with the Lenoir Elves. His first turn, Swamp with the Rack. Second turn, Plains and another Lenoir. Tap the Elves to attack, and that'll bring him down to 19. Pass turn. Click on the Swamp. There's a Demonic Tutor. It looks like pass turn. Alright, I'll untap. Tapping my elves for mana. And there's a Erhnamgeddon. Okay, that's a reprint right there. Apologize for that. That is a Underworld Dreams there. What it says is, does 1 damage to target player whenever they draw. So whenever I draw a card, I take a damage. And there I am taking a damage there, so I'm at 19 as well. Laying down a Pendlehaven. What that does, you can tap that and you can give a 1/1 creature +1/+2. So that's what I'm doing here. So I'm actually attacking for 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I Giant Growth the Erhnam. So that's 10 damage there. It's like a terror on my Erhnam. And then I'll take a damage from the Underworld Dreams when I draw. So I'm at 18 now. Laying down on Mishra's Factory. Tapping for an Erhnam. And then I think I'm attacking for 2. So that puts him at 7. There's a Dark Ritual for a single Vampire. Take 1 damage from the Underworld Dreams. There's a Swords to Plowshare on his Vampire, so he'll gain 4 life. Looks like I'm attacking with everything, including the Mishra. And then I noticed that the screen was a little cut off, so I decided to move everything over, realign the board. And again, I apologize for the glare. He's bringing in the Veneral's Disc, but it comes into play tapped, so he can't use it this turn. So I'm tapping to bring out another Erhnam, and disenchanting the Veneral's Disc. And again, apologize for the reprint on the disenchant. And that'll be game. So 1-0 for Erhnamgeddon. So moving forward, I'll be doing commentary on all my videos, just because I do have some reprints in there. I might add a title screen or something like that. Just let me know in the comments if you guys want to see the deck list for these or anything else you want to see moving forward. I do have a few more decks I could put together. I do have some decks already put together. Alright, this looks like the start of game number 2. Now my son's just starting out playing Magic, so he's doing his best. Starts out with a Meister's Factory. That's a reprint of a Meister's Factory, and then into a rack. And I start out with a Forest into a Soul Ring. There's a Swamp on his side. Attacking with the Meister's. That brings me down to 18. City of Brass. And that's a reprint of a Birds of Paradise. So I think that's a 12th edition foil Birds of Paradise. And then I'm going to block his Maestros with my Birds of Paradise, use my City of Brass to do a giant growth, so his factory will die. I'll take 1 damage from the City of Brass. There's a Jadon Tome. Forest. And that is that is an Ice Age reprint of Icy Manipulator. And sorry for the glare. So what Icy Manipulator does, you can cost 4 to cast, but you can tap 1 and tap that, and you can tap target permanent. So he's using a Terror after a Dark Ritual onto my Birds of Paradise. So Icy Manipulator works really well, especially with the Erhnam. So if a creature gets Forest Walk, you can tap that creature down after you give it to it. Or also you can use it to tap lands, and so that's what I'm doing now. I'm tapping his land to deny him mana. He'll pass turn. And there's an Erhnam. There's a Terror on my Erhnam. Untap. I take some damage from the rack. And take 1 damage from City of Brass, tap that for Sarah Angel. Sorry for the glare. There's a Terror on my Sarah. Terror on my Sarah. So far he's got answers for everything. And I'll tap his Swamp. I did use my Jadon Tome for a card. There's a Dark Ritual and a Hippie. Now I have enough cards so I don't take any damage from the rack. I'm at 14 and I think he's at 20 still. And there's a Savannah Lions. And then during his upkeep, I'm going to tap his Hippie. There's a Sinkhole on my Pendlehaven. end of his turn, I'm going to tap my Genome Tome for a card. I have more than enough cards, so I don't take damage from the rack. Draw my card for turn, lay down the plains. Disenchant the rack. Attack for 2 with the Savannah Lions. There's another sinkhole. I think he's deciding what to target. He's destroying my plains. Okay, at the end of his turn, I'm going to use my tome to draw a card. Untap, draw my card for turn. There's a forest. Attack for 2, Savannah Lions. During his turn, I'll tap his hippie again. Oh, there's a Hymn to Torok. In response, I'm going to source his hippie. He'll gain 2 life. I'll lose 2 cards. What did I lose? A Fast Bond and a Maze of Ith. Tapping for my tome to draw a card. And draw my card for turn. There's a factory. Attacking for 2. And there's a giant growth. And there's also a berserk. And sorry, that's a reprint of a berserk. So that's actually 5, and then with the berserk, double that, so that's 10 damage. The Savannah Lion just did, and it's dead. I figured I had the Maestros Factory to finish him off, but then he plays a sinkhole and destroys my factory. Sorry, I went to untap, and I decided I'm going to tap everything back, then tap for my tome before, then draw my card for turn. And there's a second Icy Manipulator, so now I got 2 of those on the board. And I say, I guess I'm going to go ahead and tap a land down with one of the Icies. And again, those are Ice Age Icy Manipulators. Sorry for the reprints. There's a Soul Ring on his side. At the end of his turn, I'll draw with my tome. Tap. Draw a card for turn. There's another factory. There's an Erhnam. Sorry for the glare. During his turn, I'm going to use my Soul Ring to tap down a swamp and his Soul Ring. Draw with the tome at the end of his turn. Then draw for turn. Attack with the factory and the Djinn. He'll take 6 damage. And then I'm going to be tapping his Soul Ring and Swamp again with the Ice Manipulators. There's a Demonic Tutor. And a little too late, so we decided next turn he'd be dead anyway, so here we are scooping. And I apologize, in my newer videos I skip past the shuffling part. Alright, so now it is 2-0 Erhnamgeddon. So we're just playing another game just to see how it would turn out. As I said, my son is a little new to Magic. Usually when I play the mono black deck, I beat the Erhnamgeddon deck 2 out of 3 times. Yeah, it's game 3. Starting out with a Meister's Factory reprint. I started out with a Forest and a Lenoir Elves. Sorry. He's got a Swamp. He decides not to attack with the Factory. I'm not sure why. There's a Plains and a second Elves. Second Factory on his side. There's a City of Brass. And there's a third turn Serra Angel. I'll take 1 damage from the city. He thought I was attacking there, but I was explaining to him I was using the mana for the Serra. Here's a hint to Torak. He tapped the Meister's on accident, but he had 2 swamps, so I didn't really say anything about it. He took my balance and my Maze of Ith there. And I remembered that that's when I took the damage from City of Brass. I remembered I didn't take it. So, tapping for Erhnam, and then there's a Birds of Paradise, and that's a reprint of the Birds of Paradise again. There's the Minerals Disc. But it comes into play tapped. And you'll pass turn. So unfortunately I didn't have a disenchant in my hand. So I decided to go ahead and attack with everything. And then I use a green to berserk the Serra Angel. So that is 4, 8, 12, 13, 14 damage going to him. And then my Serra dies. I figured it's going to die next turn to the disc anyway, so. Okay, at this point I'm at 19, and I believe he is at 2 life. So he uses the disc, destroys everything. There's an Animate Dead, and he wants my Serra. So that Serra becomes a 3/4 now, because with the Animate Dead you lose 1 to the power. So now he's got creatures and I have nothing. There's a Dark Ritual, sorry for the reprint, into a Hippie, sorry for the glare, and then tapping more for another Hippie. So now he's got 2 Hippies in a Serra, and 2 Meister's Factories. And he attacks with the Serra, I take 3 damage, and that puts me at 16. There's a Forest. And I'm looking through my graveyard here. I'm like, man, I wish I had that balance now. There's a Soul Ring and a Swamp. Attacking for the 4 plus 3, 7. So it brings me down to 9, I believe. And there's a Serra Angel. And I had to tip City, so that's 1 damage from the City, so I'm at 8. So it is 8-2. And then there's another Hippie. He didn't realize he could attack with the Hippie that just came into play. So he's got to untap 1 of them. So I'll block 1 of the Hippies. He doesn't attack with the Serra. So I'll take 2 damage and kill 1 of his Hippies. I have no cards in hand, so I don't have to discard anything. I'm pretty much top decking here. And I top deck a Icy Manipulator. And then I attack for the Sarah. He'll block with one of his hippies. Here's another disc there. I think he's deciding what mana to tap. There we go. And the disc comes into play tapped. There we go. Now he's attacking with his factories and his Sarah. But I'm explaining to him, if I kill his Sarah, I can tap down his hippie next turn, so I will kill him since he's only on 2 life. So it's better to not attack with the hippie, so he can block. So he attacks with both Maestras. I block one of the Maestras, I take 2 damage. So that brings me to, I believe I am at 4. I tap down his hippie. I attack with the Sarah. Mine's a 4/4, his is a 3/4. So his will die and mine will stay alive. And I disenchant the disc. Sorry for the reprint on the disenchant. And then I pass turn. So I should be in pretty good shape since I'm at 4 life. He can only hit me with 2 since I can block, but there's a drain life. So he decides to drain life for 2 there. And then I think he decides to go back and drain life for 3 instead, since he has an extra black mana. So that puts him up to 5, and then it'll put me at 1. But then we went back and we decided, I tried to help him out, saying if you drain life for 3 or 2 instead of 3, that'd put me at 2. Then you could attack with both creatures. So he is at now, I believe, 3, and I'm at 3 or 2, and he'll attack with both creatures. Since I'm at 2, I can block 1. The other one goes through, so he actually ends up winning game 3. So I hope you enjoyed this. More to come.